As you drive down Route 16, just outside of East Hardwick, you might spot a small, organic family dairy. This 100-acre family farm milks 65 cows with 130 total, including young stock. It's the Ackerman Dairy and the 2023 Vermont Dairy Farm of the Year. Nine years ago, Sara and Jimmy Ackerman were looking to buy a farm.
We were getting married and thinking about starting a family, and we wanted a place to call home.
The young couple had been working on their family farm in Cabot.
We wanted something of our own, and the family farm wasn't going to work out. And so we started looking to buy a farm. It's not like buying a house. They're not just advertised in the paper.
As luck would have it, Sara and Jimmy heard a rumor that a farmer in Hardwick might be looking to sell.
You can actually see it from Route 16 when you're coming down, and we were still living in Cabot, and we'd look up and be like, oh, wouldn't it be amazing to own that place someday?
One night we just stopped in, and old man Phil was milking cows, and he was kind of thinking we might stop over. It was very exciting to see a barn very similar to what we were in, old tie barn and whatnot. And almost a year to the day we walked into the barn over here and met Phil, we were the owners.
They had realized their dream. They owned their own farm. But now the hard work began as they embarked on a long list of projects, including transitioning the farm from conventional to organic.
Phil was not organic, didn't pasture his cows.
We had to haul the organic feed from Cabot for 3 years during the transition period.
We had to build laneways and run water lines for water tubs, fencing, and the whole structure of pasturing didn't exist.
The biggest relief was when we were able to finally use the feed that we made from our farm, from our land, for our cows. All of our land that we use and all of the land that we own was organic. It was a real sense of accomplishment.
The Ackermans were making regular deliveries to Organic Horizon and finally feeling on solid ground. But to be a farmer means always facing new challenges, and storm clouds were on the horizon.
Horizon was phenomenal, small company, and we were with them for 7 years in Cabot, and we were with them for 8 years here too. And they just got bought out by corporate America.
When they started cutting our milk price, we just had this feeling that the goal was to drop all of us. We weren't making much more than conventional farmers at one point, but still having the organic cost of farming. We knew it was only a matter of time before we got the letter that said that they were no longer going to pick us up.
Late in the summer of 2021, a letter arrived at the farm. Horizon was dropping the Ackermans. They would have just 12 months to find a new buyer for their milk.
It was pretty devastating, really. I mean, we knew we wanted to farm, but even at that time, we couldn't be conventional. There was no market. There was no market anywhere.
Oh my goodness. We kind of were thinking about all of the different possibilities. We were scrambling. We reached out to Stonyfield, Organic Valley. No, upstate Niagara. Nobody was taking on new farms.
I hate being undecisive about the day, what I'm going to do today, let alone my whole future. And yeah, it was rough.
We considered bottling our own milk, played around with that. We realized that we work hard enough to make the milk. We don't really want to have to do something with the end product as well.
The couple's back was up against the wall, and soon they would face one of their toughest choices yet, whether or not to start selling off the herd.
We called a cow buyer, and he came out and walked through the barn, and he was loving what he was seeing, but Sara and I were just, it killed us to think that we were going to sell out and not have cows and not do what we love to do.
It was the worst feeling, thinking about all of your hard work and all of these cows that he's going down through, looking at, like, we raised them. We watched them be born. We raised them, and the thought of not having the animals standing in that barn, it was like nope, that's not an option. We got to figure this out some other way.
The cows always come first for Sara and Jimmy, and when push came to shove, they chose to be resilient, sticking by their cows and sending the cow buyer home.
I was like, yes, girls, we're doing all of this for you. And then I was like, everything we do for you. And Jimmy says, is that what you want for your life? And I paused and I said, well, everything we have because of them. So everything we do for them, but everything we have because of them. Yeah, it's what I want. And it was just kind of like it's just a full circle. They eat before we do. They're tucked into the barn before we go to bed. They're like, all of their needs come before ours. Up in the middle of the night with calves, and there's never a time that we put ourselves before them. Maybe our kids, but they're out there in the barn with us, so they understand. Come on, babe. Come on, girls, let's go.
You already did that once today.
Oh, I know.
Our cows come first, the land comes first. We are a small family farm, fortunate enough that kids are right here all the time, and so I don't miss out on that.
Soon after deciding not to sell, the Ackermans got a call from another organic processor, Stonyfield.
We feel absolutely very fortunate that Stonyfield decided to pick up in this area, because without them, I really don't know where we would be.
We're believers in everything happens for a reason. It's been a year, almost exactly. July 1st, it's been a year since we shipped with them.
Now, a year after Sara and Jimmy pulled through and saved the farm, they have found themselves being recognized for their hard work.
Jim and Sara Ackerman of Ackerman Dairy. I'd like to present to you with this sign, the 2023 Dairy Farm of the Year. Helping present today is Deputy Secretary Allison Eastman, of the Agency of Agriculture.
Congratulations to Ackerman Dairy for being selected Dairy Farm of the Year for 2023.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
The nominating letter for the award notes the Ackermans' resilience and dedication.
It's a pride. A lot of it's pride. We take pride in what we do, everything. No matter what we're doing here, it's pride. And, you know, one thing I remember my grandfather saying, I don't know, it's probably a kid, if it's worth doing once, it's worth doing twice. And a lot of times, you do something and it don't work out, you do it again. And, you know, that's been a motto of mine for a long time, especially this summer with the weather we're having. You know, you one step forward, 3 steps backwards. But if it's worth doing once, it's worth doing twice.
What stands out to me about Sara and Jim is that they're a great young couple who are dedicated to dairy farming here in Vermont. They are from this area, originating from the Cabot area, family farms, and are beginning their family farm here with their young children, and have already had conversations about how do they get them integrated with the farm. The judges left here very impressed with what they've done in the 9 short years they've been here to convert this farm from conventional to something that's a sustainable organic farm. Have remodeled mostly everything in here and have an eye towards tomorrow as well.
The Ackermans haven't stopped dreaming, and they already have their next big move in mind.
Our ultimate goal is to have a new freestall with 2 robots. We feel that's the step that we would need to take to keep our farm modern. It's a scary thought to be so buried in debt, but you don't get to move forward unless you take chances.
If the next generation has the work ethic of their parents, this farm will continue to thrive for decades to come. At the Ackerman Dairy, I'm Ben Willis with Across the Fence.